Hello everyone, Battlecruiser here, welcoming you back to the next episode of my Space Engineers Survival Battlecruiser build. I've done an awful lot of work since the last time we were here. Yet again, I have to chastise myself for poor planning. Did not put in the conveyors through this particular section, the airtight conveyor specifically, since the vanilla conveyors are not airtight. So I have several areas where I'm getting ready to put in wall sections and weld them up. And of course, if I put these in and weld all of these up, if I use the vanilla conveyors or if I just use the regular conveyor tubes, then of course my ship will leak like a sieve. So we're using the airtight conveyor mod specifically, and we had to cut the pipe out, have to go ahead, weld all this in, and get all of this filled in. I've been doing an awful lot of framework and quite a bit of welding. I wanted to get the thrusters in. Tremendous amount of effort getting the thrusters all in. All of the large thrusters will come back here, and the ship, from the back, it's starting to look very spectacular. I am going to have to use a mod that gets rid of all of the camouflage on the armor, because I think that it destroys the look of the ship. And for those of you that have gone through the listing of the pictures, there is a picture of the Battlecruiser, which is from a similar position as this. It's what I'm using as my primary motivation and primary inspiration for the back end of the project, and I'm pretty happy with it. Now, I am looking around. We have the new HUD that we got this last update last Thursday, and I'm really happy with it because I have a tremendous amount of stuff on my HUD, and I don't have to worry about most of it clogging things up. Do have to get rid of that respawn ship at some point. I'll have to run that under the grinder. We have the wonderful XPAR reactor mods. I'm very happy with those. I'm going to be putting in a tremendous amount of those. But the thing that I'm sure some of you have been waiting for, I was planning on converting the station into a ship for this episode, and I'm sorry to say that I'm going to have to disappoint you. I did a save as to make a parallel version of the ship, and I went into creative mode and I started slapping on tremendous numbers of large reactors so that I could have enough power. I accurately estimated how much power I was going to need to control the ship, and it's somewhere north of 85 gigawatts of power. So I wound up putting something like 60 large reactors or more onto the thing. I got it up to about 87 or 88 gigawatts of power total, and all of the engines lit up. Everything was absolutely wonderful, and then I went ahead and I converted the station into a ship, and it promptly locked my game. I have gone back and attempted this on 3 separate occasions with different iterations of things, trying more or fewer reactors or more or fewer thrusters or what have you, and the game locks up every single time. So I think what's going on is the sheer math involved from converting a stationary object that is somewhere in the vicinity of 300 million kilograms into a potentially moving object. And I think doing it all at one time is gagging the game. Now, the thing that worries me is that I do have earlier iterations of the project. I do have this saved at several critical points, so if I really have to, I can go back to earlier saves and go ahead and do everything over again. And that sounds every bit as appealing as it just felt to say it. But I could do it. if it turns out that that's the only way to make the project work, I could go back to an earlier save without all of the voxels and without all of the work. I could go ahead and convert the thing to a ship on an earlier save when there's not quite so much for the system to keep track of, and possibly not gag the game. My plan, however, this is what I refer to as step 5 of the project. That is what this particular map is called. This is how I have it saved on my file list. I'm going to save step 5 right here, and I'm going to do a save as, and my next version is going to be step 6, because if it turns out that anything that happens after this is basically going to be wasted work, I want to be able to revert back to this. I'm going to keep going with the project in the hope that once the developers are finished with the game and everything is better optimized, that the ship will actually work. But I don't mind telling you that I'm more than a little nervous. One of the things that bothers me is the fact that in preparation for the maiden voyage of, well, I still don't have a name for it yet, for the project, I went ahead and I used what resources I had left in order to move my refinery setup over to here. Now, of course, those resources came from my original refinery, so I basically ground everything down, put it all in a cargo container, and moved it over here. Not a big deal. I've got over 900 drills on the front of the ship. The ship won't move. I can't really bring asteroids to the ship, at least not yet. So now I'm going to have to cut some of the drills off the front of my ship so that I will have enough resources to build another mining ship, since I cut up the old one to recycle some of the resources. And then I'm back to where I was before. I'm going to have to build a large mining vessel and go back to mining things old school, starting with the great big ass asteroid that I have sitting here behind me. So I'm still eager to take input on what I should call the ship. Given the media's reaction to the launching of the UK's latest research vessel, please don't recommend that I call it Bodie McBoatface. I've already received at least one suggestion, and yeah, okay. For as much time and energy as I'm spending on the project, I'm only taking serious entries. Thank you very much. Anything involving the word dick, sorry, not a valid entry. I think you can understand why. Just thought I'd get that out there right away and, try to head off some of the problems before they arrive. So the update is remarkably short today. As I said, I've got a lot of work that I've done. The thing is prepared to move after a fashion. I am at least prepared to build in all of the necessary resources to actually light the thing up and get it to move. But the game engine at the moment will not allow me to do so. So we're going to continue on with the project. But things are really starting to come together, so I may go ahead and start with the rest of the mass welding, getting all of the... I've got the starboard wing all welded up, so I think I might move over to the port wing and get that all done and then start moving forward. At least get the bottom of the utility space all welded up and ready to go. And then start building up from there. That's going to be my starting point. So I plan on building it from the middle out and from the back forward. I am sorry that I could not deliver today. As I said, I did a lot of work over in the other save trying to get it all set and ready to fly, and I pulled some pretty sinful shenanigans over there trying to get everything to work. So this is what we're working with for now. And I still hope to do the maiden voyage, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the developers will get everything optimized. I have more than enough power in my machine, I'm sure, to make this work once the game starts utilizing all of it. For now, everything is single core, and it's lots of memory leaks, and there are a lot of things going on that are just killing the optimization and the frame rate. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Any special comments, any advice, suggestions for the name of the vessel, go ahead and put those down in the comments below. Likes are always appreciated, subscriptions doubly so. This is Darkizer signing off. Have a good night.